live again. We're live again.
We're live.
We are live.
Live.
Yet again.
Okay.
We're live and we're live.
We're live and we're live.
We are live. That's going to be our t-shirt. We're live and we're live. Again. Back at it again. And I'm back at it with another NA.
Yep.
I got a couple more Peronis left.
Italiano.
So we're gonna just kill this right now.
Nice. Yeah, I got the I got the athletic. This one I got the light, which is like have you had that one? The athletic light?
That
Are
one?
you okay?
Yeah, it had a funk to it.
Oh no.
It smelled like rotten eggs.
Oh,
Still-
gosh.
Still gonna drink it.
All right.
Okay. If I get
Don't
sick, I get sick.
Waste not, want not.
Right.
Have you ever had the athletic light? Have I ever brought that one?
I think
this one.
so.
Okay, that one's like Bud Light.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think so.
Okay.
I've had like 3 different athletics.
Okay.
So this topic,
Yeah.
today's topic,
I was just texting Jessica to say you're not gonna like this one.
she might not.
No, she'll hate it. She's not gonna listen.
She's probably not gonna listen. Top 5
Yep.
wrestling factions, because you could be going New Japan, you could be going WCW, you could go ECW.
Oh.
Probably going WWF. Yeah, probably going WWF. And I'm looking at this list of like throwbacks, and there's so many I forgot about, like La Resistance.
Oh yeah. So we haven't really we've dabbled on the wrestling talk on this podcast a little bit. This show, this program. So I don't know about your viewing habits, but mine was I watched from late 97
Yep.
to 2001, all through our middle school and our formative years. I watched every week WWF and WCW, Monday Night Wars. I never really watched ECW. I dabbled, but that was just like it was too crazy for me, even as a 12-year-old, thirsty for blood.
Yeah, it was like it was good, but it was like good for like the hardcore
Yeah.
highlights, really.
Yeah, we played all the video games. Well, I played the video games, WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, a couple of those. And then I didn't watch for a very long time.
Same.
And then WrestleMania 27, I started watching again randomly. I just bought the pay-per-view. I forget why.
Yeah.
I was like bored. So I bought that, watched it on and off. You started watching it. We did some WrestleManias.
I think I came back around. God, it was probably around that 2013, 2012.
Oh, The Rock came back. That's what it was. The Rock came back to host WrestleMania 27, which is funny because he's back again for WrestleMania 40. And that's why I watched it, because The Rock was back for the first time since like WrestleMania 20, I think.
I don't know what got me back into it. I really don't.
I don't know.
There was a period of time where it was like 2013-ish. We even went to
Raw.
no. Yeah, we
Oh.
did go to Raw, but
Yeah.
we also went to NXT.
Yeah.
We went to Raw. You always like to throw that out there, the Daniel Bryan
Yeah.
when he turned on
I
the
see
live
it.
family.
I see it on Reddit all the time. It always pops up, and I send it to you every time I see it. Someone always brings it up.
He went nuts.
Yeah.
He turned on the Wyatt family, got on top of the cage in
Yes.
Providence, Rhode Island.
Yep, it's like a famous episode now.
And went nuts.
Yeah.
The crowd went wild.
They did go wild.
But yeah, then we used to also go to Bo's and watch Raw on
Yep.
Monday night.
They would put the TV on for us.
It's great.
Yeah.
It was a great time.
Real great. So then I stopped watching again after WrestleMania, not 30, because that was Daniel Bryan. It must have been like 33, 34. The star, when it was Roman Reigns, the star. It was in Dallas.
Oh
It was-
yeah.
I don't know which one it was, but it was the main event was Triple H and Roman Reigns, and I stopped watching again after that.
It was when they did the draft. I fell off.
Yeah.
They did the Raw SmackDown draft. I fell off.
Yep.
It just. They also. Do you remember when they teased the anonymous Raw general manager?
Yeah.
Again, they did it like once. They
Right.
did the computer thing.
Yeah.
And then it got a terrible reaction, and then they never went through with it.
Yeah. It wound up being Hornswoggle.
The second time?
I don't know. I think they just brought it back one time for fun, and I think it was supposed to be someone else, and then they just said, "Oh, sorry."
Because it seemed like they were doing it to try to create a new buzz, and
Yeah,
and
it
it got
didn't go
such
well.
it got such bad reviews. I'm
Yep.
like, all right, let's just end it.
So, and then I started catching on again when AEW formed. I always had like an ear to the ground on it, like just kind of checking stuff out.
Mm-hmm.
But I unsubscribed to all this stuff. I just stopped caring, and then AEW came around, and I started getting back into it. I still mostly watch their stuff. And if there's a big WWE pay-per-view on, I'll watch that. Because it's on Peacock now, so, like, you don't have to spend $60 a month or whatever it is.
When they go to Netflix, I'll probably dive back into the Raw. Although, honestly, Netflix is going to... Their price is going up again.
Right.
Like, I don't know how much more I'm
I
keep
don't
paying
know.
for this shit.
I cannot watch a full episode of Raw anymore. 3 hours? I don't have time for that.
It used to be 3 hours when we were kids.
Yeah, but I was 11.
Do you have responsibilities?
Yeah, and I didn't have, a phone or responsibilities, or it wasn't exhausted.
I didn't have a...
10 o'clock.
First thing was, like, a phone, not, like, a job, a wife,
Well, you just get
kids.
distracted. You get distracted by it. You get distracted. Well, the kids are asleep by the time Monday Night Raw comes on. I'm just exhausted because of
I
that.
didn't have a phone back then, guys.
So it's like we talked about baseball. Baseball got destroyed because you have smartphones. I can't watch baseball anymore because I have my phone.
I know, it is bad. The attention span
Yeah.
is pretty shit.
Yeah, so I gotta put it away. I gotta put it in a box.
I get it.
But yes, the wife and kids and the responsibilities and being exhausted definitely plays into it.
That's fair.
And yeah, so I don't watch Raw. I don't watch SmackDown. I'll just catch clips of it and stuff. But if I have time, I will watch AEW Dynamite on Wednesdays.
That's
It's only
fair.
2 hours.
I'm gonna throw this out there because I'm looking at this list of factions.
Okay.
And this drives me banana sandwiches when people do this. When you have a list, the word "the" is not part of the list. It's not "the" is not a T.
What?
Like, that's not how you would rank something. Like, the New Day is under T.
Oh.
It should be under N.
Oh.
The doesn't count as the word to
Yeah. Well, I
categorize
think,
by alphabet.
I think. Yeah. I guess it depends. Is their name actually The New Day, or is it New Day?
I in my history of life, you don't categorize things
Right.
off of the.
That's fair.
But at work, I have an issue with one. There's one thing I got to look for, and it's it's the, because one. But the New Day is in there. I don't know. Anyway, but I digress. Do you have any honorable mentions for this list?
I do. Just
Okay.
about that. My honorable mentions include the Job Squad. I don't know if you remember that group from the Attitude Era. That was Mankind, The Big Show, maybe Al Snow, like Steve Blackman.
That wasn't. Oh, the Union was different.
Oh no, you're right. That's what I was thinking of. That was the
okay.
Union. Okay, good. I'm glad you said that. It was the Union.
What was the Job Squad?
That was, I think.
Oh, I see it. Here they are. Oh, that was with fucking Gilbert.
Gilbert. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. The Union.
The Union.
They had like 2x4s
Yeah,
and shit.
yeah. So dumb.
Ken Shamrock,
Yeah.
Test, Big Show,
Big Show,
Mankind.
yeah, that was a very short-lived faction. Main Event Mafia, who were in TNA. It was Sting, Scott Steiner, Kevin Nash, I think Booker T. There's a lot of the old school guys who are still in TNA. Pretty good. And my probably favorite honorable mention is 3MB.
Yeah.
That is Drew McIntyre,
Yeah.
Heath Slater, and what was the other guy's name? It's gonna drive me nuts.
Heath Slater.
Uh,
He used to get beat by everybody. Like,
Yeah.
That was his thing. That was like
Raw 1000. Yep. Oh, Jinder Mahal.
Hmm.
The best part is Drew McIntyre and Jinder Mahal both went on to win the WWE Championship.
Yeah, but they
And-
used Heath Slater to literally just get fucking
Yeah,
beat by
he
everybody.
got beat all by the legends leading up to Raw 1000,
Yeah.
DDP and Lita. And I don't know if you remember, but one of my all-time favorite wrestling matches we watched with 3MB involved at Boneheads. Do you remember?
No.
It was the WeLC. It was a TLC pay-per-view, and it was El Torito versus Hornswoggle.
Oh, yeah!
It actually was a pretty good match.
Yeah, it was.
And we watched it at Boneheads.
Oh, shit. I
Yep.
forgot about that. Shout out Boneheads.
Yeah,
R.I.P.
shout out Boneheads. I know. Oh, God, it's sad.
R.I.P. Looking at this list is so funny to me because there's ones that you probably have forgotten about, and then when I say it, you're going to know immediately.
Yeah.
The Radicals.
Yeah.
like Perry Saturn
Yep.
and Dean Malenko.
That was
Eddie
a big
Guerrero.
deal when they all came over. As soon
Yep.
when they came over, I was like, oh, it's done. The WWE's done.
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 Game over. The right to censor. Do you remember when they converted Val Venus?
Yeah, they won. They won. They actually wound up winning because it's all censored now.
Oh, dude, the oddities.
They were weird.
That was great. That was like
Yeah.
when ICP came into WWF. God, there's so many good ones here. All right, but go through your list. Let's start with
Okay.
your number 5.
Yes, this is a personal personal 5. I have some weird combos here too because they just kind of work together and I couldn't decide what to do. So number 5 has to be the Elite. So we spoke about AEW, and the E in all AEW stands for Elite. So that's Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Hangman Adam Page, and so there's some newer guys, not as familiar because people know all the WWF guys.
Right.
But Cody Rhodes was in the Elite for
Yeah,
a long
yeah.
time, and he's now the number 1 face in WWF. And they have a YouTube show called Being the Elite, and I watched that weekly for the longest time. Shit cracks me up. They do
Dude,
skits and stuff. It's hilarious.
I dig it.
It's the reason I started it because I never liked Cody Rhodes before, but started watching him in that and the JBL and Cole show. I actually really started liking him, and he's really funny. And they're really cool because they were in a group in New Japan, the Bullet Club, which I never really cared for.
Sure.
But they're they broke off, and then they got to be buddies with Tony Khan, son of the Jaguars owner.
Yeah.
Convinced them to start a wrestling company and gave a lot of people new jobs.
Yeah.
So they gave it all because I was done with WWF at that point. I'm like, I don't want to watch this shit anymore. It sucks. And then AEW came around. I'm like, it's a nice, it's an alternative to watch. And then Dean Ambrose showed up, now known as John
Moxley.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my number 5.
I like it. I think this isn't like it's not my favorite because I didn't root for them, but as a faction, it was like, I don't know. This is our favorites, but like it was like such a powerful faction.
Yeah.
Ministry.
Yeah.
That theme that the Undertaker had in volume, I want to say
my
it was
God,
volume
so funny.
3,
Yeah.
WWF,
Yeah.
volume 3.
Yeah. I forgot those CDs.
Dude, I had 2, 3, and 4 or something, but I think it was volume 3 with like the gray cover, like that theme that he had in the Ministry was
Yep.
the best theme that he's ever
Yeah.
had.
That's when I think of the Undertaker, that's the one I just remember
The
immediately.
long hair, not
He
wet.
had tied back and stuff.
Yeah.
The knot. And that's where he kidnaps Stephanie and stuff, and Stone Cold saved her. I was like, I was so into it.
They put him on the the symbol.
Yep. I was really into that.
But then they had a feud. I had to swallow it. I couldn't get it down. That's what she said. They had a feud with the corporation, and then they
Yep.
became the corporate
Yes.
ministry. But that's not my top 5. That's not my number 5. It's
Okay.
just the ministry by themselves,
Oh, okay.
not
All
the
right.
corporate ministry.
Yep, I got
But that was like the corporate ministry was like half the roster.
Yeah, I know.
It was like half the roster and Stone Cold.
So I actually have Ministry of Darkness as my number 4.
Mm.
Yeah. Then I put a slash, and then I put the corporation for that similar thing where
Yeah.
they were the big bad guys. And back in the day, I was a huge fan of The Rock, and he was, I don't know if it was Survivor Series, maybe '98, when they had the tournament,
Yeah.
and he was going up against Mankind, who was like Vince's guy at the time. And I was like, I remember this very distinctly. I don't know why I remember it so well, but I was like, oh, my favorite's The Rock, and and I still thought it was real back then. Like, well, it is real. You know what I mean?
It's still real to me.
I thought it was just like, The Rock was actually an asshole if he was a bad guy and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
totally into it.
Right.
I didn't realize it was scripted. So I was like, oh, Mankind's friends with Vince McMahon, he's going to win. And then The Rock turned heel, turned bad guy at the end, and it broke my heart. But I still decided that I loved him after that.
fair.
He joined the corporation. He went from the people's champion to the corporate champion. I was not happy.
Yeah.
But then I got over it. But like you said, it was like half the roster. It was the Brood, and oh my God.
Well, speaking of,
Oh, nice. Nice.
I would probably put them at 4. Yeah, the Brood. They were
Yeah.
great. They were
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm assuming most people they're watching, they know, but maybe not their own older group. It was Edge, Christian, Gangrel.
Yeah.
They were like these
Vampires.
vampires, but they had a great entrance.
Oh.
Remember when you used to be able to do like the SmackDown game,
I remember some of the
and you
Huffy
could
song.
yeah.
Yeah.
You made the SmackDown game, like
Yeah.
everybody would make their character
Right.
do the Brood entrance, like everybody. But it was weird. It was like this. Yeah, they were like vampires, but they had a really cool entrance. And then they became, Edge and Christian, and then Edge by himself, and then Christian by himself. So it's like these little factions have spawned like champions.
Oh yeah.
Like they don't stay in that.
Yeah, like Gangrel like took him under his wing and helped them like elevate them to the top of the card.
Right.
Um,
He's been at some conventions too.
yeah, and Edge and Christian are both now in AEW.
Right.
I think they're wrestling at the next pay-per-view, which is coming up. But yeah, they're feuding right now, the two of them.
Right, because he
Yeah.
came back and he wanted to like, let's do another run, and
Yeah.
Christian's like,
Oh, yeah, that was on.
Psych.
Yeah, he said, "Go F yourself." It was on the Instagram.
Oh yeah, when he was hugging him, that was
Yeah.
great though.
Yeah,
That was
yeah,
great.
Christian is hilarious. He's a great
Yeah.
bad guy. He's so funny.
And it's funny because like they're still wrestling, but if you look at it, like I think if they're not in their 50s, they're close.
Oh yeah, for sure. And Edge is a funny case because WrestleMania 27, the one I came back for The Rock, was his last match. He won against Del Rio, and then he had to retire because of his neck
Yeah.
for like 10 years.
Yeah.
Now he's back. So good for him.
Yeah, because when he retired, it was like, yeah, it was like
He-
10 years.
yeah.
He was going for a long time.
He was like the only guy I recognized. I was like, oh, cool, Edge is still here. And
Yeah.
he retired the next day. I was
sorry,
like, oh.
sorry, can't. But Daniel Bryan had a similar thing where
Yeah.
they made him, or he had an injury,
Yep.
he retired, and
Yep.
then he came back, and
Yep.
now he's with AEW.
AEW as well, and so is Paige. She had the same thing. She had to retire because of her neck.
She came back too?
Yep,
No
Soraya.
kidding.
She goes by Soraya now, or whatever.
Okay.
Because like Edge isn't Edge anymore. Because like technically WWF owns Edge,
Right.
so he has to go
Adam
by Adam Copeland.
Copeland.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Christian can go like by Christian Cage. I don't know. It's all very. So Daniel Bryan is Daniel Bryan in WWE. In
It is.
AEW, he's Bryan Danielson.
Because that's his real name.
Yes, it is.
So stupid. All right. Who's your? Did you? Oh, that was your number 4.
Yeah,
was the ministry.
yeah, Ministry / Corporation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's your number 3? I wonder if they'll have the same for this one.
My number 3 is another one of those weird. Like I know who it is. It's DX, the Generation X.
Okay.
But it's the Generation X 2.0. It wasn't the one that was Shawn Michaels and Triple H. It was the one that was
In
Triple
China.
H in China, yeah. And I think Rick Rude was there for a little bit. It
Yeah.
was the one that was no Shawn Michaels. It was Triple H, X-Pac, New Age Outlaws. That one.
But then, I mean, Shawn Michaels did come back and he was with them.
Yeah, but the first one was like just those two.
Yeah.
And then because he got hurt or got kicked out. I don't know. I don't remember.
He got
But then
hurt.
Triple H, yeah, that they were like the bigger group, and they feuded with like the Nation of Domination.
I will say,
Shout out Rock.
I'm not even going to comment on them. They may or they may not be on my list somewhere. But, okay, that's very specific, though. You went with a certain era.
Oh, because I don't
of
really,
that.
I don't remember, because like that was because I don't have many memory. I remember Bret Hart, but my memory is fuzzy before Survivor Series '98.
Okay. Well, all right, let me ask you a question. In that era,
Mhm.
Hart Foundation, DX. Oh, it was DX.
I liked Bret Hart.
I
lot.
didn't. I didn't. I know. I feel like when I say that to people, they get like so butthurt about it.
Oh my, I'm upset.
No, but people are like, oh, you don't like Bret Hart? Like, no, because I thought the Hart Foundation I thought they were corny, and I liked the antics of DX.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. It was
'Cause
late
they were
90s,
just
man. There's no rules.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was just outrageous shit.
Yeah, and Bret Hart was like a dying breed, you know.
Yeah.
They were into that. And
I
then
respect it. Just his
Yeah,
character.
yeah.
I was like, yeah.
And then he went to WCW and didn't do much. But yeah, I think he was my brother's favorite at the time. It wasn't mine. Like I loved like Stone Cold. Like I rooted for Stone Cold over him and stuff. But
Yeah.
great wrestler, but not a lot of personality.
I think that was the problem. I didn't like any of those guys.
Yeah, definitely DX for me though. Like I said, I definitely the bigger group with the New Age Outlaws, X-Pac, X-Pac.
X-Pac. I like your name, X-Pac, because it reminds me of a six-pack.
So that was mine, and then Nation of Domination, who were pretty short-lived, but that was like when The Rock first turned heel. He was in that group, and they feuded, and I remember that feud very clearly, and then it led to like a SummerSlam match between The Rock and Triple H for the Intercontinental Championship, like a ladder match, and that was pretty awesome.
That's fair.
Yeah.
God, there's so many that are coming up on this thing that I'm gonna read off after. Number 3, which I feel like it could be, like your number 3 might be higher on my list. My number 3 might be higher on your list.
Mm-hmm. What's your number 3?
The Shield.
Okay.
No comment. No comment.
The Shield is and was awesome.
They were. It was the run that I got back into wrestling.
Yeah.
I just felt like it. That 2012, 2013, 2014 felt like the era that we grew up on.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a different feel. They had a ton of talent. They had certain guys that were like, the factions were good. The Shield was one of the best though.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I don't know if they'll ever. They never say never, but like as of right now, it's like Moxley's doing his thing in AEW.
Yep.
Roman Reigns has been the fucking champion since 1962. Seth Rollins has a belt. They've all spawned off to be like all headliners.
Yeah, I think at some point, I think they all had a world title. I think Moxley had AEW.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Roman Reigns had the WWE, and the World Heavyweight was Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And people thought like, oh, one of them's gonna fall by the wayside, like Seth Rollins. He's not gonna be the guy, whatever. And then he wound up being one of the better ones. And WrestleMania, the one that he cashed in at the end on Roman, like that was like the coolest moment. Him and Brock cashed in. That was awesome. That was the big giant play button in California. I remember that one. Yeah, they're really awesome.
That moment when Seth turned on Roman.
I went to bed early and I missed it.
That was like.
I was so upset.
But in like the new, or I mean now it's been fucking 10 years, but like in that modern era of wrestling, that was a huge like moment. It was such a good build up.
And we had just watched that pay-per-view the night before at Boneheads because that was, I think it was the same one, TLC. Was it the WLC one? I'll have to look it up.
The WLC, yeah, that is so funny. I forgot about that.
It was the Shield versus Evolution. Wow, was it really? I gotta look that up. It was the same pay-per-view.
Was it?
WLC, yeah, it was 2017. Shield versus Evolution 6-man tag team match at Extreme Rules. And that's when Seth jumped off from the top. That was awesome. It was a great match. We watched it at Boneheads. It was great. And then Monday Night Raw, I used to watch Monday Night Raw, and it was the one, and I usually watch it all the way through, and it was the one time I went to bed early and I missed it, and I will never forgive myself.
Not great. But they were a great faction. They used to, come through the stands, and they used to wreak havoc. It was great. They were great. I love them all.
Yeah, I love them too.
Who's your number? Wait, that was my number 3.
That was your number 3, yeah.
Who's your number 2?
The Shield.
Tell me about the Shield.
Yeah, for like modern, and I was flip-flop between them on 1 and 2.
Okay.
They could easily be 1 for me, just because they were that that cool during like the modern stuff. And I still follow. Well, I don't really care for Roman Reigns. That soured me on them a little bit when they just kept pushing Reigns, and Reigns kept wearing like the SWAT gear and stuff. It's like, dude, get over it. And then he finally evolved. Like people always wanted it, and look at him now. Like people love him. I like Jon Moxley at AEW. I think he's cool because he stepped away from the WWE, which was a lot of people like, that's why you're nuts. And then he just wanted to wrestle, and he couldn't take all the politics and bullshit. So.
But towards the end of his run in WWE as Dean Ambrose, they were having him fight like Nia Jax or something. It was so fucking stupid. They ruined him.
That's why he's like, I want to get out of here.
But the thing with Roman was funny because as soon as everybody knew, like in the modern world, and everybody fucking knew, like, oh, he's getting the push, and they tried to have him be the face. It was very similar to The Rock when he started as Rocky Maivia.
Yep.
He's gonna be the face. He's gonna be the face, and like everybody fucking hated it.
Yep.
And then they turned him heel, and now look at him.
Yeah. I don't know why they took so long.
He's gonna lose the belt. Hot take. He's gonna lose the belt at Mania. The Rock's gonna turn on Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. Cody's gonna win.
He's gonna finish the story.
Has to. It's got to. It's been fucking 3 years at this point. It's over 3 years.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. I hate it.
It's ridiculous. But I think they're building it up. I think Rock.
I can. They can see them wrestle like SummerSlam or something. But Cody. I remember my son was born and watching Cody versus Brody Lee in AEW in like a dog collar match, like at the hospital. I was watching it on TV. Like I remember that so vividly. It's so funny. But yeah, it'd be cool to see Cody. It's another guy who bet on himself, like Dean Ambrose. Like he was Stardust, which was ridiculous. He left.
Yeah.
Went to like Ring of Honor, did New Japan, did the whole thing, helped start a company like
Right.
the Elite,
Mm-hmm.
and then got hired back and is now gonna win their title.
The Stardust thing was cool for a minute, but when they dragged it out,
Yeah.
it was like,
Yeah.
you're ruining this guy because in the ring he's so good, and like now you see what he could have become earlier.
Oh yeah, a long time ago for sure. For sure.
My number 2.
Yeah.
If the Shield was number 3,
Mm-hmm.
number 2 there could only be one number 2.
Who is that?
The Wyatt family.
Oh wow, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I just mentioned Brody Lee too.
God, R.I.P.
Yeah. Yep.
Brody Lee and Bray.
Yeah.
Bray was the best character, and I stand by this. I will die on this hill. He was the best character that they've come out with in 20 years.
Yeah.
And they just didn't know what to do with
No,
him.
they fumbled that too much.
They fumbled it to the point where, but the Wyatt family, the original Wyatt family,
Yeah.
was great, and then they had the beef with the Shield.
Yeah, that was a great match too.
Awesome.
Yep.
And then he became the Fiend.
Yeah, I didn't love that.
Then he got they released him, and then when Triple H kind of took over the creative,
Yeah.
they brought him back,
Yeah.
and he didn't really. I think then he got sick.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yep.
he never really got to come back. He was doing like the Uncle Howdy stuff. But
Yes.
it's like that original character, like that family, those promos that they used to cut, so good.
Yes.
It was like it was a throwback to like the late '90s faction.
Yeah, and it's like I love that spooky shit.
It's
You
great.
know, get weird, get real weird. But then like they had him lose to like, but then they ran into the issue that they ran into kind of with Undertaker early on, where it was like he was too good to lose, but if he did lose, no one really cared, so he just lost too much. Because like Undertaker lost a shit ton in like the late '90s, early 2000s. But they didn't let him beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania. They didn't let him beat John Cena the first time around, and it was just like, come on.
Their shtick with that was similar, where they said he doesn't need a belt to be popular.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that to that point, that leads to you losing a ton of matches too.
Yeah.
Which is like,
Yeah.
you definitely fumbled the bag on that one.
Yeah, you lose the mystique.
That tribute that they did for him
Yeah.
is so hard to watch.
I know.
It's so hard to watch. I could still like picture it.
I know it's tough, especially with the kids and stuff.
Oh, that was the when he's brushing one of like, yeah, I can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. But that's the Wyatt family, my number 2.
Yeah, good choice. Very good choice. Yeah, between like them and the Shield coming up together was awesome.
That's what made
Yeah, that time. Yeah,
That time's
period.
so
they,
good.
They saved that time period because there wasn't much else besides those guys.
No.
going on. Yeah.
no.
Yep. My number one.
Dun, dun, dun,
Probably a lot of
dun.
people's number one. Now, this one comes with a caveat because it's the NWO. However, it's the NWO Wolfpack.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. All right, fair enough. Yeah, there's a bunch of different ones.
So it's not like it wasn't like NWO 2000. And if you want to say Wolfpack, or you can say the original NWO, which was literally Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall. That was it. Like none of these other dudes, like Dennis Rodman, and when like all the other guys started joining. No, it was that and the Wolfpack, because the Wolfpack were fucking awesome. Red Sting,
That's fair.
good guy Kevin Nash. It was great. It's great. I was all
Okay,
about
that's
it.
very specific, but you know
Yeah.
what? They do rank them. I mean, they're listed as
They're separate.
they're listed as 6 different ones.
Oh, yeah.
7.
That's so funny.
Because they actually have like NWO listed as
they did.
NWO WWE.
Yeah, they did. They had their run in WWE. Yep,
So it's
that
like-
lasted like a year. Yep.
They list it differently.
Yeah, not that one. And I was too young for the original NWO, like when they formed in '96 or whatever, Bash at the Beach. But I remember Wolfpack, and I remember staying with that red face paint, and I was into it. And they were the good guys.
That's fair.
And they reformed, and then it was over. That was it. That was the end for me. They reformed NWO like 2000 or something. I was like, nah, I'm not into it.
They have it listed as NWO, NWO Reunion,
Oh.
NWO Wolfpack,
Yes.
NWO Black and White, NWO Hollywood, NWO Japan,
Oh god, I don't even know that.
NWO WWE.
That's funny.
So that is a mouthful.
Yeah, so very specific, but like just the way they changed the business and
That's fair.
It was like earth shattering at the time, and people don't, it
I
was just
respect
wild.
it.
Yeah,
They're very specific on this list of how they rank them because my number 1 is listed differently. Like I looked at it as just DX is number 1.
Oh,
They have to be.
oh, okay.
But they do list it as DX1 and DX2.
Ah,
Mine is just DX. Because under that umbrella, it was the same shit. And Triple H was the mainstay.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
They came back later on, too, as, like, old men. I guess that would have been DX3.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
So that
it-
was DX2, just because I don't really remember DX1.
But the antics of DX1, when it was just Triple H and Shawn Michaels, they were hilarious. They were great, and they had China. But I did like the run. Like I really liked the run of the New Age Outlaws and
Yeah.
X-Pac. But then Shawn Michaels was part of that when he came
Yeah.
back. But then he also
He had, like, a
turned.
back injury or something, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he got injured.
I mean, I still do suck it to this day.
oh my God.
All the time.
There's one where Shawn Michaels is he's walking down the ramp, so casual, and he just does the nicest.
Yeah, I do that too.
I said at the last game dinner, I was like, if I had won, oh no, if somebody's car was blocked, and they're like, they read off the license plate, like, move your car, and then everybody started booing just to be funny. I was like, I wish it was fucking mine, because that would have been my opportunity to do the fucking suck it. DX changed the game completely, and I like that. Usually the sequel's not as good, but the sequel was as good, if not better. Like the New Age Outlaws were great.
Oh,
And
yeah.
X-Pac was great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Best faction, hands down, number
Wow.
one.
Jeez.
Number one.
I have number 3.
I think. Let's see. Yeah. My cousin said DX is the only correct answer.
Because I go back and I watched. I mean, I used to flip back and forth between WWF, like Raw and Nitro, and like I was all into NWO. But like I said,
Yeah.
that up until the Wolfpack, and then once they merged after that, I was official. I was done. I
Yeah.
was not doing it anymore. And it was actually the night The Rock was champion. It was the night that I think it was the same night that Mankind beat The Rock for the championship. It was when Kevin Nash, like the finger poke thing where he like let Hogan pin him and they
Yeah.
like, nope,
Yeah.
I'm done. See ya.
Yeah.
I was over it.
Yeah.
I was over it. Even as a child, like this is fucking stupid. And I was done. But just the way they changed the game, similar to like DX, they helped usher in the attitude with Stone Cold. I mean, Stone Cold was the standard bearer.
Yes.
But they're the ones who are doing a lot of that silly stuff.
I'm gonna read off a quick list of factions that are on this page, and then it's gonna throw you down memory lane.
Okay.
Well, this is a newer one, but Aces and Eights.
Yeah, it's
Um,
TNA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did watch a little bit of it, but not great.
Excuse me. The Anti-Americans, which
Okay.
was Christian, Lance
Storm.
Sorry, Lance Armstrong, and Test, and then the Alliance, which was
Oh, it's
Shane's
yeah.
WCW gang.
Yep. And ECW, yep.
The British Invasion. Let's see. Corporate Ministry, we talked
Yeah.
about that. I wonder, you know what? I wonder if they have. Sorry, I'm just going down it's in alphabetical order, sort of. Evolution. That was a big one at the time.
Yeah, I didn't watch their height when it was Triple H, Randy Orton, Batista, and Ric Flair. I wasn't watching, but we watched their 2.0 version when they wrestled
Yeah.
Shield. No Ric Flair though.
Four Horsemen. The
Yeah, it's too
Full-Blooded
early for me.
Italians, and then the Full-Blooded Italians 2.
A lot of people will say the Four Horsemen are their number one. That's like our parents.
Yeah.
Our parents will be like, yeah, Four Horsemen are the best.
Yeah, no.
But I didn't watch back then.
No, sir.
Yeah.
Heart Foundation, Heart Family, Heart
Yep.
Dynasty.
Oh.
I'm out on those. The Job Squad. The Job Squad. JBL's
Pin Me, Pay Me.
Cabinet.
Pin Me, Pay Me. Yeah, same. I did not watch back then.
The Click.
They're more just like pals. I didn't know that. They were
Yeah,
so stable, but,
they label it as an
Okay.
official.
Okay.
Kai and Tai.
That's. What was that?
Kai and Tai was like Funaki.
Oh, okay, yeah. The funny thing about the Click though is that they had the guys in NWO and they had the guys in DX. Like they were in both. They're like the two biggest ones.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Cool. Funaki.
Takamichi Noku. Shout out to Takamichi Noku.
Yeah. Shout out.
Let's see. La Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
We went through those. The Mean Street Posse.
Wow.
Dude.
Oh my god, that was Shane's friends.
Yeah,
Pals?
yeah. They dressed in like the Argyle
Yeah.
sweaters and
Oh my
shit.
god.
The McMahon Helmsley regime, McMahon family.
Okay, I remember that. That one wasn't the corporation, but it was like right after that. And that's when like Stone Cold was hurt, I think, and it was The Rock and Triple H were going back and forth.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Which, you know what? I'm surprised this was The Nation of Domination probably should have been an honorable mention because
Yeah.
they were a big faction.
Yes, and they were big rivals of DX. So yeah, I had them
Yeah.
listed kind of like next to DX, but they didn't last long enough to be beyond that. But
Right.
and they were the launching pad for The Rock, really.
Yeah,
'Cause
pretty much.
Yeah.
You know what? The other one that's not listed and we didn't say because a faction is just at least 2, right? Or does it have to be 3?
I mean, isn't
Be
that
like tag team.
Yeah, you can mention them if you want.
Well,
It's our program.
the Acolyte Protection Agency.
Oh yeah,
That
and
was-
they were part of the ministry.
They were.
They started as a ministry,
They
so
were.
they're just like an offshoot, like the Elite from Bullet Club. But yeah, they were good. They were funny.
Let's see. The Right to Censor the Radicals. We went through those.
Yep.
The Spirit Squad.
Oh,
Do you remember the Spirit
a
Squad?
little bit? Yeah.
The male cheerleaders.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler was one of those.
Was he really?
Yeah, he started off with Nikki, I think he was.
Oh my God! Remember when? Yeah, Team Angle, when he had Shelton Benjamin and
Yeah.
God, what was the other guy's name?
Because some of these were like, if it was like 2002 or 3,
That's when this
that's
was.
yeah, to like 20.
This is kind of when I was tuning out.
Yeah, I was out of the game. I tapped out.
Too Cool.
That's a good tag. Yeah, because they had Rikishi too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I'm trying to think of the ones that are in AEW right now, but I can't really think of too many besides the Elite, and they just reformed as a new Elite group. Yeah.
The Von Erichs.
Oh yeah. You just watched that movie Iron Claw, right? That's a sad story.
It's very sad.
But
story.
some of their kids, their I don't even know what anymore, but they're still wrestling like that family.
Yeah.
They have some kids in there, and they just did AEW back down in Texas, so
Wild.
they're still out there.
X Factor, which was X Pac.
X-Pac.
What the hell's his name? He changed his name so many times. Prince Albert. What the hell is his
Oh
name?
God, Tensai or
Tensai, Prince Albert.
Prince Albert.
And Just Incredible.
A Train. Just Incredible, yeah.
And that's pretty much like the big ones here. But what the hell? What the hell was their names?
What's that?
There was another faction of like motorcycle guys.
I don't know.
There was their names were like 8 Ball, Chains,
I don't know.
DOA. DOA.
Like the tag team?
It was. I thought that was like a group though. It was like it
Oh.
was 8 Ball and Chains. It was like a fucking. That was their names. It was like a
I
motorcycle
think
club.
I think the only ones I remember from the Motorcycle Club were Aces and Eights because I'm pretty sure they're big Sons of Anarchy fans.
Speaking of which,
I'm
I'm
pretty
about
sure.
to go watch that right now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that makes sense. What was the other one I was thinking of? Oh, do you remember the Godwins?
I do remember the God.
Fucking,
yeah.
he ended up being Midian.
Yeah. He was gonna be the next big thing too. Oh, that's funny.
All right, I think that's probably enough here. So, let us know what your top 5
Top 5. Give us top 10. Give me top.
favorite. Just give me your favorite. Just give me your
top
favorite
One. Top 1.
wrestling faction,
And why is it the Shield?
and then why is it Degeneration X?
2.
The first version, the second version, the third old man version,
Oh.
and the future grandkid version.
That's right, because Triple H has 3 daughters. I know that Shane has 3 sons, and I don't know what Shawn Michaels has, but there you go.
No, I'm not sure.
He's got kids. You know the Sting. So Sting just retired. He just had
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
his 2 sons. Apparently, one of his sons was like a tight end, like a really good tight end for
Really?
college. Yeah. They're freaking huge. Like, why are these dudes freaking wrestlers? They're ginormous.
That's a tough business.
It is tough,
That
yeah.
travel,
But,
man.
yeah.
It's worse than football.
It's true. There's a lot of young kids coming in, like Cody Rhodes, the second generation. His brother's still wrestling. Goldust, Dustin Rhodes, and
Yeah.
Randy Orton, and all that. So
Fair enough.
it is tough. But yeah, it's fun. It's not something that you have to watch. Like, and there's a lot during the week. Like literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's a show. You don't have to watch it all. Just watch the clips.
Just watch the clips. That's what
Yeah.
YouTube's for. So.
Exactly.
Except if you're watching this show, you watch the whole show.
Yep.
You watch the live, and then you
Yes.
watch the whole show
Yeah,
back.
and then
you
watch
comment.
and then watch the clips, and then watch the show a second time just to make sure
You didn't miss anything, and
Exactly.
then share it with 3 people that you know,
Yep.
10 people you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
and your high school history teacher. Share it with them too. We'll have an episode out next week. Next week we are not going live because I won't be around.
Right.
This is my blame. But we will be back.
But we'll have a show though.
We'll have a show.
Yeah.
We're just not going to be live next week,
Yep.
but the show will be out Tuesday. Every Tuesday around noonish.
Yep.
Tuesday at noon.
Yeah.
That's the way to say it. Tuesday at noon. We'll be back on the lives in 2 weeks, the 25th.
Sounds good.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
And we're going live.
Oh my.
And we're going live.